Alright, you amazing bastards. Here is in my opinion best build for first playthrough. This build will get you through early game all the way up to the end if you wanted to do so. Set that I'm wearing is Scarab Set. It can be obtained before Cloud 9 bar. You can go directly there at the beginning of the game, but it's gonna be tough taking down these enemies without proper upgrades, since they are level 4. Usually I get this set after Little Johnny, which is normal progression route. Don't forget that it is very important if you want to take this build all the way to upgrade it constantly upon reaching new areas and battling high level enemies. Without it, it's all going to become obsolete, but that goes for every build in Surge 2. Up until this point, I would suggest using Scavenger Set. That set is obtained right at the beginning of the game from the very first enemies. Combine Scavenger Set with one of the best early weapons. To know about best early game weapons, simply watch my video on that topic. Scarab Set reduces duration of received elemental afflictions, which is nice because you're gonna experience a lot of elemental bollocks from early to end game. 3-piece set bonus increases defense when 3 batteries are charged. If 5 batteries are charged, that bonus is increased even further. Honestly, I never even played with 5 batteries in my first playthrough because I didn't have the need for it. I invested into health and stamina instead. Also, bonus that we get for filling up 3 batteries is more than enough. Scarab Set pieces offer additional impact, reduced stamina consumption when wading and running, and also increased damage versus armored body parts. But you should still aim for unarmored body parts because armored body parts always reduce incoming damage. Weapon that I'm using is one of the best early and mid-game weapons called Darkened Dragoon. It is also one of the weapons covered in my best early game weapons video. This weapon will serve you well except against nanite type enemies. Versus nanite type enemies, switch to full physical damage, or you can choose something like MG Negotiator that stuns enemies. For new players, I'm suggesting spear and staff type weapons because they have extremely long reach and are very easy to use. As for the implants, we always need ancillary core that increases core power so we can equip whole sets and more implants. I have directional block analyzer equipped at all times for every build because it's such a good bloody implant. Then we have normal injection, automatic inject charger, but this is not really necessary, it's completely optional, so you can remove it if you don't like it. Then we have Recapacitator. This is a must for this build. As soon as you get to Recapacitator, equip it because that prevents decay of batteries. Batteries are very important for this build because preventing battery loss makes for achieving partial set bonus faster. Another important implant is called Energy Dynamo. It increases energy gain through successful attacks. This would be core setup. Add on top of it whatever you like. Versus bosses you can always add something that does increase damage against robotic, nanite or humanoid type enemies depending on what boss you are facing. Stat distribution should be something like this at level 40. Battery is the most important one because we need to increase the amount of batteries that we have. And it also improves injections, which is quite helpful. Other than that, spread points in health and stamina. Upon reaching 4 batteries, you don't need to invest into battery anymore. Then invest heavily into health and stamina and you're gonna be fine throughout the whole game. More than 30 points into battery is not necessary for this build, but it's up to you. If you want to go for 5 batteries, that is also an option. Now on to how to play this. This build prefers wading rather than blocking. Blocking drains a lot of stamina and we don't have it at this point yet. After acquiring 4 batteries, then we can invest heavily into stamina and health, which would then make blocking more viable. Also, leg part of Scarab Armor Set reduces evasion cost, and we can further reduce it with an implant that is gained later in the game. Offensively, I would suggest not using finishing moves unless farming for materials. Finishing moves cost battery and we need to keep battery up in order to get that partial bonus from Scarab Set that increases our defense. That is why finishing moves are not preferred with this build. Use them only when necessary or when farming. That's all, now go out there and destroy everything.